Good evening, everybody. Listen, I'm so excited about tonight. We've got a special live tonight. It's called What's Next. I've got my great friends, Valika B and Quanda Renee. I'm going to bring them on. Take a second, go ahead and share this, like this, tag a friend, let them know we're on. You're going to get something special out of tonight. So welcoming Valika B and Quanda. So I'm about to bring them on right now. How you doing, Q?
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here on tonight.
Yeah, Valika, what's going on, sis?
Nothing, just trying to share. Sharing is caring.
Listen, I thought this was a good topic of really what's next. You know, in the climate that we're in with technology changing, with the pandemic, I think taking us in a different direction, you know, for people that are either nonprofits, business owners, people that are in churches, whatever the case may be, I think it's now time. People are like, what's next? What do I do next? How do I handle it next? Where do I go next? And so I just really wanted to bring you guys on. I want you guys to share your background, where you come from, what you do in the industry, and then what we can help add, maybe some tips, some tools that we can give. So y'all want me to go first, or y'all want to go first? Is what
you
y'all
can
do?
go first, your platform.
Okay. So my name is Onesimus Williams. I've been doing media broadcast, so video editing along that line. Started off in graphics. I've been doing it about 12 years, and you know, I do some content now for some television networks. DirecTV is one of them. I have a client that's on there. So been doing it for quite a while, and I'm seeing that the game is changing as far as what people are looking for, what we're doing, even as African Americans, changing up our viewpoint, our stance on different things, and being relevant in this time. So that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I started off in graphics, now just doing more video editing. So I'm gonna let y'all go. You can fight over who want to go next. Yeah.
You can go ahead, Quanda.
All right. I'm Quanda Renee, and I'm most known for being the creator of I Need a Word, which is a digital media platform. Basically, what I do in a nutshell is I help pastors and leaders get more exposure via digital marketing. And I've been doing this for the past 3 years, but I've been doing marketing for a while. But I've just been in the faith community for the last 3 years.
And talk about how many people you have on your platform.
We hit 3 million sometime this year. So we hit 3 million followers. It's just been one of those things where God just kind of blew on it and it grew. So I'm grateful, and it put me in a good position to serve as helping pastors and leaders.
Amen. Me next. Okay.
Yeah, you next.
Yes. My name is Valika B. I am the founder and CEO of Set Apart and Chosen. Set Apart and Chosen is more of a digital music media platform. And what we do is share gospel, inspirational music. And here lately, we've been having a lot of concerts on our page. We have close to 1 million followers, and that's pretty much it. And we have a couple of different other digital platforms, but that's Set Apart and Chosen in a nutshell.
Yay. So the reason why I wanted you guys to share about your numbers is just to let people know, like, hey, you know, we're talking from experience. I think a lot of people I'm seeing now, they're on and they're having lives, and it's great, but they don't really have the experience. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the community. And so everybody is a social media strategist these days. Everybody is doing social media. Everybody's saying I'm this, that, and the other. But the reason why I wanted to bring these two on is because, again, their numbers speak for themselves. Our work is proven. Listen, we were just talking before the live. We got work we trying to turn down. So, so it's definitely, we definitely are in the game. Listen, what should an organization do in this new technology market? What kind of content should somebody be putting out right now, as far as social media, websites, their presence? What's attracting clients? What's attracting people right now?
I want to say video is very heavy. I think 80%, or it's going to be 80% of the internet is video. So you got to have some type of video. We're visual. So a video will explain to me way more than a graphic. With a video, I could kind of see what you're talking about. And it doesn't have to be like real long. It could be like a 2-3 minute video. And that's something we could get into later about, like, these long drawn out sermons and long drawn out content. It's not as effective as it used to be. Can I talk about it for a second?
Go ahead.
It's not as effective as it used to be. I think with the church world, we are trying to take the building and put that out online, and that's not the case. Because I've been talking to a lot of people and just kind of getting feedback from members, and they're saying right now all they want is the word, all they want is the scripture. They don't even want the worship part of it. And I think it's because it's harder to get a worship experience virtually, at least at this point, or we haven't found a good way to do it as a whole. So I think we have to be able to take macro and turn it into micro. And I know that's hard for the church world because we're used to the 2 and 3 hour long sermons, but we live in an age where if I'm on my phone and somebody texts me while I'm watching a message, I might get out of that live and go to the text message. If I'm at home and a bunch of people are around, they're talking, my focus is not there. So we have to learn how to, we can't bring the building online. It's just that it's dated. It's done.
Okay, wait. You're going too fast. Listen, we got to pause right there, because when I tell you that is every pastor, that's their slogan. They're like, I want to bring the church online. I want to bring what we did in the building online. Like we got to say a lot on that, because I think what's happening too is it's killing your numbers. It's killing the people. They like, I'll catch you later, and then they forget to come back to you. So go ahead. I just had to pause right there, because that's.
Let me tell on myself, when I'm watching church online, I say, I'm gonna just come back when pastor get up to preach.
Yeah,
I'm telling myself.
But here's the thing: what if somebody popping come on in between you going back to them? You may forget to go back to the one you were watching before. Because everybody's on pretty much Sunday hour is the same time. So you got all your mega ministers, all your heavy hitters, and their productions are good. They've got illustrated sermons. They're out on location. So if you're a smaller church and you're not on your game, somebody can easily go flip and watch somebody else because they might be scrolling in next,
Yeah, the experience I'm experiencing, people have to understand too, the experience that you had inside of the 4 walls is not the same online. What you are hearing on the inside of the 4 walls is not praise and worship. I'm sorry, but some of y'all sound horrible. You know and it doesn't have a lot to do. It could be the mics. It could be the sound, but it comes off bad. It comes off really bad. And I sit there sometimes and I'll be like, do they not hear what I hear? Like, and that's how people get discouraged from the praise and worship piece of it. Like, let's skip to them because they don't sound that great, or people that's not connected. To me, you need to have your media marketing team on. So someone, like, even when I was at church, I used to have inside of the service my headphones on so I can hear the audio. And then I'm texting AV and saying, hey, turn them tenor mics off. You know what I'm saying? But now you may have a tenor who can't hear themselves and they screaming in the mic, and you're like, you know what, sis, I'll just come back after this is over and I will see the pastor when he preached. But other than that, I really don't even want to hear all of that.
So you know what? So that's bringing another point. Do you think if your music is not up to par, should you just cut it?
I told somebody the other day, and I don't know if they want me no more. I don't know if they want to be my client no more. But I'm like, I think that music got to go. I said, people come for you. You the talent. Unfortunately, to say it like that, you the talent.
Yeah.
You gonna have to, they had music. I think it was like 15, 20 minutes. I was like, nah, that's too long. And then I feel like Sundays are oversaturated. I feel like there is a need for some pastors to be online Saturday night. That's when Quanda need a word. Saturday night.
You know what? And Saturdays actually are good, like from what I'm seeing on live. Saturday nights are good nights for lives, for real.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, pastors. Hey, that's a plug right there.
Yep. So yeah, Saturday nights are good nights for numbers as well.
Yeah, I went live, I think, one Saturday night at like 10 o'clock. I was surprised to see thousands of people on. I said, I'm not going to stay too long because I know y'all got church in the morning.
Yeah, right.
and that's what I was telling another pastor too, is like, you have to keep the audience attention now.
That's it.
Inside of the church, You can't get up and say, I'm going to the restroom. Well, matter of fact, I'm just going to go drive down the street and see what Shiloh and them doing right now. But now you have the opportunity to go, well, let me go and see what TD Jake's doing.
Listen, accent.
Back, and then TD is giving you that hard word, and you're like, okay, I'll look at the rebroadcast later. Then you start going back like, let me go ahead and see what Jamal Bryant now is doing here. Then you're like, let me go see what Transformation and all the other ones are doing. Then you forget to go back to your main church. I'm gonna tell you, listen,
Exactly.
let me just keep it 100 with you. I know a lot of members that are cheating on their churches.
Listen,
adultery.
They're cheating. Pastors, your members are cheating on you.
And they're taking their tithe money and they showing it into these other churches. I'm just gonna say it. Tithe is coming up short. They sowing it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
And another point I want to add is with the inside the building, you have people's attention. Online, you have to keep people engaged. You can't just do the traditional, we just gonna have the choir and then he gonna get up and you got to acknowledge, thank you so much for joining on today. Acknowledge the online audience. When I tell you, when I do lives and I'll take 4 minutes and I say shout out to this person, you know, that keeps, for some reason it gets more people to come on and engage with me. So we can't do it like how we normally do it. In the building, we can't shout. We're not shouting out nobody. But online, if you want them, at least get your youth pastor or somebody to come on and just interact. I think Bishop Jakes was one of the first people I saw do that, and that was way before this pandemic. They interacted with their online community because right now that's kind of all you have.
Yeah, Stephen Furtick is another one that was like one of those early adopters of really engaging the audience. What about people that are not in the church realm? What about business owners? Like, what could business owners be doing right now just to let people know about their business?
I think you definitely have to be given value. I think we could take like what HSN does and turn that into your own show in your own house. If you sell handbags, if you sell whatever jewelry, create a little setup in your house and advertise that and show that, because people can't come in your store where they could touch it and feel it. So you have to give them an experience. That's what online is, giving an experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so funny that you say that because, right now there's so many businesses that are doing the same exact thing. So I would even say for business owners, when you and I'm going to tag Valika in here and tell her to come in on this part. But when I love her packaging. She's doing candles. She probably don't even want me to talk about her candles, but when she does candles, listen, I looked at the package. And she started this a couple years ago, but I was like, it wasn't a homemade looking package. Right. It wasn't. She didn't go down to Dollar Tree and get some mason jars and put some wax in it. You know what I mean? Everything you do now, you're not creating a new lane. You're only still in market share. There is about 50 people that's doing exactly what you're doing, and what's going to separate you is your packaging, your intentionality. When you actually have things shipped out, put a thank you card in there, put a memo in there. If you do a service for somebody, send them a thank you note. Do things that are really going to keep you memorable in this hour, because everybody is shopping. Everybody is looking for another opportunity. Everybody is looking, where can I get this same product for a greater value or lesser value? And I even say I use Chick-fil-A all the time. When you go to Chick-fil-A that they do not have a dollar menu. There's nothing on Chick-fil-A menu that's 99 cents, but you know what you go there for? You go for the experience. You go for the customer service. You go for the how may I help you? You go for the customer service. So we have to think about that as business owners. What is my customer service like? And you know what? They used to have this back in the day where they used to have secret shoppers. They would go into the stores and see how they were doing. You may need to let people do that for you. Get some secret shoppers. How did you like my experience when you went online? Was it easy to find? Was it easy to click on? Was it easy to go through the process? Did you understand what I was saying? Because right now, again, you're just still in market share. And so it's like whoever has here's the thing, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money, but you do have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Just like, for instance, we are walking billboards. Kwanda, normally when she do her live, she have on her t-shirt. when she's
Yeah.
on her own page. Oh, and like now you're seeing Quanda and myself more in front of the 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 screen now, in front of the cameras. Like I really never really wanted to be in front of the camera, but in order for me to put out what I'm trying to present next, I have to get in front of the camera. People have to remember my name. They have to
Yeah.
remember what we're doing. Like right now, we're not begging for somebody to get our stuff. What we're doing is giving them a message. We're putting it out there. We're solving problems like people are going through right now. We're reading what our people are putting in the comments or emails that we get all the time, and we touch on that particular matter. And that's a lot of things for pastors. You're not listening to your audience. You're not listening to your congregation.
Ooh.
You can't hear
Listen,
man because you are doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? What are people saying in the comments? What are the emails? What are they
Yeah.
doing? You want to preach and teach about what you want to teach about, but you're not being that problem solver. You got to solve some problems.
we can end this live right now.
Right. If people are depressed, you hit on, I can Google and Google, what are you saying about depression? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a rocket science to do this. Just hit where the people are and meet their needs of the people. We're not doing it. We're too busy on focusing. And I hate to say it, because you're in the production realm, but we're so focused on this production,
Yeah.
you know, and we're not focusing on the word. Last night, 4:00 in the morning, I'm sitting up here trying to get some content together, and God was like putting in my spirit, let praises rise. And only thing He wants us to do is just acknowledge Him.
Yeah.
Like me, like say my name, acknowledge who I am. But we're too busy trying to acknowledge the building, acknowledge our brands, acknowledge everything else. But we're missing the point. We don't understand why we're going through, and I'm back here going through what we're going through right now with this pandemic. It seems like the focus is worse than it's ever been.
Listen, you know, and that's why I think I Need a Word and Set Apart and Chosen could come and disrupt the market, because nobody is paying attention to the online world. That's how I get most of the content, from looking at the comments, from the inboxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can't just get up here and just preach what we want. No, I did a test one day, a post, and I said, what do you wish your pastor would teach in church? You should have saw the comments. And I was like, if any pastor was smart that's following this page, they would have been taking notes. I don't think none of them was taking notes.
Because you know what, and this goes not just in the church world, you know, me being even in the secular market. Listen, pay attention to your audience. What do they need? Let me tell you something, business owners, if you've got product that's not selling, or you have one item that's selling better than another, pay attention to that. Don't say, well, I want to sell this, or I want to sell. If it's not selling, take it down.
Exactly.
Go with whatever is selling. What is on that? Because one thing I heard Oprah Winfrey say in an interview that was so great, she said, you can't build momentum. She said, but she said what she did with Oprah Winfrey, she said it was a phenomenon. She said, not momentum, phenomenon. She said, you can't create a phenomenon, but when a phenomenon is there, what you do is you ride the momentum. She said, when that thing hit, she said, I had to put everything I did behind that. And she said, I didn't allow the momentum to fall. She said, that's how she was able to do 25 years. And she was like the highest rated talk show host, because when she found out what her audience wanted, she stayed on that. And let me tell you, business owners, stay in your lane. Churches, stay in your lane. Nonprofits, stay in your lane. Whatever you're good at, whatever people come to you for, don't try to switch up now because you see somebody else is being successful in that. They're being successful because people begin to, as Velika said, we're walking billboards. People begin to identify you for a particular thing. They know you for a particular product. Again, I'll go back to my Chick-fil-A example. You're not going to Chick-fil-A looking for no 99-cent nothing, because they don't have a 99-cent menu. So we know Chick-fil-A has certain things. You know, you're not going to get no steak at Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that they stay within their brand, and that's how businesses flourish. So even right now, you guys talking about churches and pastors paying attention. What do you think, even in you guys' market, what made you guys be able just to break through where, I mean, I was so stunned when I met the two of you. I had never seen anyone have organic followers and viewers that weren't paid. Y'all wasn't boosting posts. Y'all wasn't buying ads. So what made you guys be able to come into the market and really almost dominate in this particular area?
It was God. Like God told me what to do, and my obedience did it, and He blew on it. And I live off of this scripture: if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men. So all them people, we just kept lifting up the name of Jesus in these posts, and He brought the people. You know what I mean? And then I've always had a marketing eye, so I would pay attention to different things. I would see what would go viral faster. I don't even have. If I wanted, I've learned viral so much that if that's all I wanted to do ever, I could do it. Because I could listen. I know what the people need. It's learned. But I don't tell people that because I don't want people to think like that's something I'm gonna do. But you know what I mean? Like you got to know your audience. I know that there may be 3 million followers, but there's a specific woman that I speak to. It's a woman who's struggling with her faith. She wants to know more about God. She's gonna watch 80% of the video. She's gonna buy a I Need a Word t-shirt. If Quanda decides she want to have an event today, they're gonna come. You got to know who you're talking to. I'm not.
You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like? Stay on that point. It's what I hear right now, and I want you guys to really write this down. What she's saying is, I studied.
That's it.
So keep going. I just want y'all to pay attention to these nuggets, because listen, in this live, there's going to be nuggets to help you. Mark this down. Study what you're doing. Even as a pastor, it's not just all getting up, hooping and hollering. Study. Who has God called you to? Business owners. Who is your target audience? Study them. Study what they need. Notice what she said. She knows who she's reaching. She knows what they want. She knows what they want to hear. That's what you got to notice. If you are a daycare worker, who am I reaching? What family sizes am I reaching? What price range am I reaching? All those things are so important. So finish that, Quanda, but I wanted people to pay attention to what you were saying.
And I think the issue with the church world is the thing is, you ask them, well, who's your audience? Who do you want to reach? Oh, I just want to give the gospel to everybody. Everybody don't want the gospel, one, and everybody's not going to be attracted to your voice, two. So you're not going to be for everybody. And that's just point blank, period. And they don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that.
Sir, you was in here tonight.
They don't like to hear that. I'm telling you. That's the struggle I go through with clients. I'm like, listen, everybody, because sometimes they get caught up in the viewership. I'm like, but what was the interaction like? Were people commenting? Like, what was that like? What were they saying in the comments? That's the stuff that matter.
Right. Listening to your audience, knowing what they're asking for. If they're saying that I like oranges and you feed them apples, you ain't listening to your audience. Like, exactly. We do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? We don't give the audience what they're asking for. And that's the main thing. Karen, like, I can come on my page and say, hey, we're going to have this singing show. Can y'all sow a seed? And all the money is going back to our singers. They trust me. You know what I'm saying? Because they see every time they drop money, okay, we got this amount, whatever. They trust. It's all about building up trust and building up relationship. I have certain singers, just like Quanda on her, but you have the little show with the what's the show that you have? The trivia. Just like when she have the audience, she knows the audience. I have certain people I can look at. Me and my friend Kaylee, we was on the other night and we was looking at one of the singers and we was like, you know what? Something's going on with you. And we'll end up texting them because we have a relationship and we can tell when they're off a day, when they're out, or when their burden is lifted. And we just know even the people we don't know, they can come on and sing and Kaylee will start ministering to them, or I minister to them because we know our audience. We know how to hear from the Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we just feel what's going on in their lives. And honestly, I love pastors, but a lot of y'all are just not tapped in. Y'all are
That's the key. That's the thing right there. Y'all not building relationships with these people. And then you get online and you want them to sow into you. I'm not sowing nothing if I don't know who you are. Hello. If we ain't build no type of relationship, I'm not sowing nothing into you. That's what turned me off with some of these clients. They'll be like, well, I want to know how much they're gonna give. They ain't gonna give nothing. Because I need a word. People are funny. Okay. If they ain't build no relationship, you can't get on there for 2 hours asking somebody to sow into your ministry. They ain't never know who you were. Let me digress. Let me calm down. But I don't like stuff like that. You people build relationships with people, not logos, and not just because you feel like your time money is slowing up. Now you want to get online and beg for money.
Why is you killing this live tonight? Why is you killing this live tonight?
I don't like all the begging either.
Listen, I have built a relationship with my audience. I could get online right now. I ain't never do this and say, y'all, let's sow until I need a word so we could go push this vision. You know they gonna give?
Right. I never
built a relationship with them.
Listen,
I have never got online and asked them.
Never have. Me either. Out of the 2 years, out of the 2.5 years, I have never got online and asked them to personally build me up. And actually, and when they see the Set Apart and Chosen, when we do the night thing, if they sow into me and say, hey, Valika, this is just for you, I'm still going to sow it into somebody else because I just don't take it. I really don't.
No, you said, Q, that was like, I was like, oh, you really went there. Listen, pastors, you got to find another avenue because you can't use lives as a replacement for lives. You can't. I'm telling you, you gotta. And so that's what we're talking tonight. You can't get on here and try to use a live as tithe replacement.
It's so sad. The market is so saturated with that.
It's so saturated. And let me help you, prophets, because and I'm just speaking from a ministerial perspective. We got to stop this pimping people out. I'm so $25 on this Cash App, and I'm gonna give you a word. Like we got to stop saying.
No. Since the pandemic, I have seen so many prophets on my page, not on my page, inside of my group. And God is telling you to give me 30. Everyone, 100 of you sold $37, and I'm like, he got a real.
And then they manipulate and make you feel guilty because you don't sow.
Right.
I'm like, bro got a real bill that he need to be paid. Like, you don't put a number on what it is and how many people do it. My bill is for 37, and this is not for all the prophets. I'm sorry, I don't make that.
No,
clear.
not all. But but what we're doing is this is why we're coming on here, because I want to read the scripture because I really want to bring a point home. Genesis chapter 2 verse 10. It says, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it parted and became in the four heads. The reason why that's so important is I really believe that these rivers came, notice, out of Eden, and it was they split in four different ways. I really believe that each one of us has at least four different business ventures on the inside of us. There are certain giftings, talents on the inside, and notice those four rivers watered the garden. Why is that important? Well, anytime you have rivers and animals, there are certain times beavers. A beaver will dam up a river if they build a home. But guess what? It was three other rivers that were watering the garden. So that means, and you even read in the next couple of verses, that there was a river for each section of the garden, north, south, east, and west. That's how it should be in your life. You should be set up that if one industry gets hit, it does not completely take you out. So even for like churches and pastors, if the only thing you have is tithe money coming in, well, if that gets restricted, what else is watering your ministry? You need business ventures. Your church needs to have outreaches. Your church needs to do other things. We've got these buildings that you paying $10,000 a month on, some $20,000 a month on, and it's not reaching the community during the week. You need to look at repurposing that. How can we make this available to the community? How can we make rental, for our facilities, other churches, let them come film in your building, use these, let it be an event center. Think about repurposing your church, even for businesses that have churches that have pews. Look at getting pew chairs that you can pull up and create an open big space. You've got daycares, after school places. They're looking for facilities. Think about other ways to generate income, and don't let this just be a Facebook pimping situation, because as most people have seen, it's not really garnering anything. It's not bringing anything in. So again, you got to look at your gifts and talents, and then look at what you have in your hand. When a woman that was she was widowed in the Bible, she went to the prophet and said, yo, they about to take my sons because I'm in debt. And he asked her, he said, what do you have in your house? What do you have in your house? What do you have in you? Talent, skills, abilities. Most of the time, the thing that you're the most drawn to is a business venture. The thing that excites you, the thing you can do without somebody paying you, the thing that keeps you up at night. A lot of times that's a business venture. A lot of times that's an avenue for you to step into. So I want you guys to talk about that, of how even what you're doing, even though the Lord put it on your spirit, how it didn't leave you alone, how it prodded you. It's something that just didn't leave you.
Well, when the Lord first instructed me to do I Need a Word, I told him no. I said no. I'm broke, busted, and disgusted. I need money. How is this going to help? Because I couldn't see it.
Right.
And so for like a week, I felt burdened, like Nehemiah felt for the wall, and it wouldn't leave me. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm not going to be able to rest until this thing. I'm just going to shoot, and do it. And then when I did it, that's when everything else happened. So you do feel a burden. You feel like,
Yeah.
because what you feel like this is something that if I don't do it, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm not going to be able to function. And so a lot of the some of the, well, I ain't gonna say a lot, preachers, some of y'all are lazy. You're so used to getting it easy without doing much,
Yeah.
and now you gotta work. Because I know preachers that had to go and get a 9 to 5
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're not flying all around the country right now.
Right.
Shut down because that was one stream that they was dependent on.
Right.
That one stream.
Let me tell you, my thing is before the pandemic hit, I had 5 streams of income. So when it hit, I was broke down to 2. And a lot of people are like, you're not stressed, you're not this. And I was like, no, because I have faith in God and I know God was going to provide for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But here's the thing. When you get into a situation like a I Need a Word or a Set Apart and Chosen with the intentions on making money right off the bat, Quanda, I know if you were just like me, we wouldn't even think about we're going to make some money off of I Need a Word or Set Apart and Chosen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So first of all, a lot of ministries and a lot of people intent are wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's
Business too.
or if I have some pastors, or if I have some leaders, or if I have some businesses saying, "Hey, I want 1 million followers," and here's my question: Why? What do you want? Why do you want 1 million? And what you're gonna do with 1 million? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the way
I
you
turn down
come
people
in,
like that.
right, like the way you come in and the way you think is just all the way off. And some of
Mhm.
those things, the way you think is not gonna prosper. It's not gonna
Right.
get you anywhere. Because what's gonna happen next is if you get into it for the money, then that's gonna cause greed. And your
Yeah.
intent is not going to be for God's people, it's going to be for your pockets. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So the way people come into a situation is all the way off anyway. Your
Yeah.
intent.
Mhm.
So
You got to be led by purpose and not money. Because when you chase purpose, money will come.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's so good.
Because
And here's the thing: it'll come every time.
Yep.
yeah,
That purpose. It. Here's the thing that about money. Money was to be a tool to
yeah,
facilitate the assignment. That's
Mhm.
what it was for.
yeah,
It always comes behind the assignment. Anytime you have an assignment, there is money with it. There's resources with it. There's people with it. Everything that's necessary for that thing to grow, to live, to survive. But if we, like you said, if we chase the resources and we leave the assignment, a lot of times then we have it backwards. And then now we looking, where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? No, get back to what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing?
right.
Let me jump into a couple of other quick questions that I wanted to tap into for you guys. So we talked a lot about the church. Valika, talk about artists, musicians, the music industry right now. What should people be doing right now? If you're an artist, what should you be? How could you promote yourself? Put your music out there. What's going on in the industry? Talk to us.
Utilize social media.
Mhm.
Don't be lazy. If you're sitting at home, you have a phone, put it in front of you and make some quick songs.
Mhm.
Go back to some hymns. You know what I'm saying? Go back to what everybody love. I know we want to make our own music, but what's going to go viral? Go to some places that we haven't heard in a while, like I said, hymns or old school choir music. You know what I'm saying? Stop getting out of really what's popular right now and touch back. Stop doing what everybody else is doing and just go backwards and go back to what we used to do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Stuff that you're not hearing right now. Those are the type of things that go on viral. So I try to encourage a lot of artists, and I'm thinking about doing something. I'm going to pray about it. But what I'm trying to encourage them, like now you don't have the churches, now you don't have the concert venues, now you don't have all that stuff. So why don't you try to build up your own page and start monetizing?
Mhm.
But I don't want to do it on my business page because I only have like 1,000 people over there, and I got 5,000 on my personal.
I'm
You're never
tired of
going to
that.
make money on your personal page. Well, you can, but you're not going to make money on your personal page.
Yeah.
Tell people that start following this page. I'm shutting it down just strictly personal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna close this page down so everybody can see. So my thing is start trying to find ways to monetize. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Monetize your singing. Now Facebook knocked it down to instead of 3 minutes, you could do 60-second videos. Just start trying to build it up. And you got to be consistent about your content. Don't fall on 1 minute and say, okay, For a whole week, I put stuff out, but shoot, I don't have no more content. I talked to somebody yesterday, and I was like, okay, I can help build up your stuff, but I need for you. I'll give you 2 weeks to build me up content. I need content
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna go out there and just because Quanda know we had a client, we had to go out and dig in YouTube for like 20 years ago to find stuff, and it was just like it was playing and trying to find stuff. We need this stuff to be together when you're ready to monetize, so we just pick
Yeah.
everything and run with it. So that's the key thing for me to focus on right now.
What would you say to artists, any type of music artist or anybody in the music industry that's looking to hopefully strike a record deal?
My question would be why. It's like why? Um artists, I need for you guys to read the paperwork. Just because certain gospel artists is on this label, please read. Me personally, to be honest with you, me personally, if I had the opportunity to be on a label right now, I probably would not. And I'm not knocking
Mhm.
anybody that the labels does well for some people, but labels do not do well for other people.
Right.
Especially if you're doing your own social media, you got to push your own thing. You're the one who's making those calls. Why are you really on a label? You know what I'm saying? I know distribution, but we have CD Baby and all those other ones that we can push things out.
Mhm.
Get in front of the camera, do Facebook Live, give them a little taste of what you got. Because I can tell, just like Quanda, I can tell my audience, hey, such and such is dropping music today. Go ahead and buy it. They trust what I'm saying anyway. But if they get in front of a camera and start building up that relationship, then do it. Like I have artists who comes on and you're not really Beyonce. Beyonce can drop a thing, you be like, oh my God, Beyonce just dropped something. Let me go download it real quick. If people don't know who you are, it's not gonna work like that.
Right.
Mhm.
Your cousin them is not really your audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thing is like market yourself. If you have an idea that I may want to go live, I may want to drop some music. Is it raining in your area, Quanda? Because I think I'm hearing rain in case my stuff
Yeah, it's
falls.
raining over here too.
Just in case I fall off. But
Okay.
build that marketing plan up, get in front of the camera. If you just have to do nice little quotes, Jesus love you, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Just
Mhm.
get in front of the camera so they can remember your name. Just like when I get ready to launch my product out, people gonna remember Balika B because I'm
Mhm.
putting myself out. Same thing with Q. They're gonna remember Q. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They're gonna remember her because she's the girl. And they might not even associate you with I need a word right now. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because now we're kind of separating our brands. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but they're gonna remember our face and our names. So that's the main thing. Even if you don't have anything right now, but if you have an idea that next year I'm gonna have something, start marketing yourself right now. You
Yes.
don't have a product. You don't have a product. You don't have a product idea. But I feel like the Lord is tapping into me to build this right now. And that's the same thing with artists. What if you do a sale? What if you're a one hit wonder? What else do you have going on? Build
Right.
up some type of product. Teach music, teach voice, do whatever you have to do, just teach or find other things, but don't be so dependent on just that one, like we were saying earlier, that one thing. That's what I would do. I ever since I was a little girl, I had a couple of eggs in my basket. When
Yeah.
one break, I'm all right. Two break, I'm all right. Three, then I'm looking kind of, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And another thing too, build your money. Just because you got a great check, I'm about to go buy me a Bentley. No, because we don't
Right.
know. Nobody knew this pandemic was going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mhm.
So now a lot of people like, oh my God, I don't have any money. I got to wait on this stimulus check and all this and that. But you have to build when you make money, build that money up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
Now
reinvest in yourself.
reinvest.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like now, what I'm trying to do for as product, I don't have to go to a bank and say, hey, can y'all lend me this money?
Exactly.
Right.
I'm the lender.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the lender now.
Mhm.
I'm putting my own. I don't have to depend on that. I'm not worrying about credit cards to get me through. It's
Right.
all about smart marketing. I took this idea and now I'm about to build something else with this idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, but I'm sorry.
I think we're in the perfect hour to be creative. Like,
Yes.
this is the best hour. It's
Yeah.
so many platforms out here. If we look at some of the things that they're doing in the secular community in the world, they're utilizing these platforms.
Yeah.
Like Jason Derulo, he built his brand on TikTok. Now he could put out anything, and they're gonna buy into it because he's built a brand. And that's just that's one thing that we got to do better in the church world is be consistent. We'll start something for a month, and in a couple months we fell off. We got to be consistent. It's more easier now to grow influence than ever before. It ain't always about who you know and you got to be connected to this person. No, you can literally go out there, do a live, somebody stumble on it, and then boom, your next connection, boom, your next sale, boom, whatever. So we have to learn how to be consistent, use this time as a time of creativity, stop with the laziness and just do the work.
Yeah.
We got to get better with content. Church ain't got no content.
Right. Yeah.
And pastors, it's okay to share your platform with your praise team members or your choir or your grief share people.
They're like, nah,
or other ministries. I'm just serious. Like, we have other ministries that are doing banging things in church. It's okay to share that platform with those people. It's okay. It's really
there's a power in collaborations.
Yes.
Collaborations.
Yes. And not being fearful, knowing what you do well and not allowing fear to hold you back or what ifs and different things of that nature. Because one thing Kwanda said that I thought was so good too is that right now you have so many people that are stumbling. You got people in the middle of the night stumbling on content. You got people in the middle of the night looking for something, and even like, what Valika said, putting yourself out there, getting on lives, creating things that make you memorable. And if one thing that, I do more behind the scenes, I'm not so much in front as far as business is concerned. If like she said, if you have a product coming, start getting your stuff out there. Even if you just drop a graphic every week. Hey, I got a book coming. Hey, I got music coming. Hey, even do snippets. There's so many opportunities out there. Even if you don't feel like you're good at graphics, they have different apps like Over, Canvas. You got Fiverr. You've got so many different things. Get a little something and keep people interested in what you're doing so that when you drop it, it's not like a surprise. It's not like, oh, I didn't know they was doing it. You kind of have built up the anticipation all along. And I think, say it again.
I was gonna say that's the thing. They'll just drop a book link and drop this and think that everybody will buy into it the first time they meet you.
Right.
No, and like that's what sometimes when authors and stuff want to advertise on I Need a Word, I'm like, well, you're gonna have to come off real big because you don't expect you're gonna get thousands of book sales, even 50, 20, because they've never heard of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to build this thing up.
Yeah.
People need to see you 7 times before they buy. There's
Exactly.
a false expectation. I don't know why we got this in the church world. I'm sorry to be so hard on the church world today, but we got this false expectation that we just gonna put something out there and people gonna buy into it the first time they see it. No, we're gonna have to learn some of these marketing tactics and techniques and apply them.
Yep.
And you know what, Kwanda? That's why I think the church world is having such a hard time, because the church world has been in the building so long and it's run that way for, I would say, hundreds of years. Now it's like we're not in the church. And so the church is now in the marketplace. Social media is really the marketplace. Social media is an industry now. The websites, this is a whole nother lane. And if we don't take the same principles that we did for business and really incorporate those into what we're doing. So there is like things like these lives, I really recommend, churches, nonprofits, pay attention, because you don't have people coming to you anymore. You don't have people that's searching you out. You now have to make your platforms open to the general masses. You got to get out there where people get to hear your voice. What is it that you have to say? And so I think this is so key.
Can I add one more thing to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think too, now that some of these pastors, they're such in a rush. Oh, I got to get back into this building. I got to get back to this building. And they're not utilizing what you have right in front of you. In your building, you only can reach a certain amount of people.
Right.
You on these social media platforms, you can reach millions of people.
Yeah.
Thousands and more, way more than your local assembly. And I'm not saying neglect that. I'm not saying that, but don't be so in a rush if you ain't utilizing what you have right now, because you're gonna have to do different measures when you go back into that building. But safety is going to have to be a priority. You're gonna have to stop spitting on them mics and clean them mics.
Yeah. And then here's the thing, and the reality is people may not come back to the building. You know, your congregation might not come back. So what are you doing to make sure that you're engaging with this online audience? I think, you know, a lot of people, what they did was they came with the concept, I'm going to get online until the pandemic is over. So this is going to be like a bypass. This is not a bypass. Let me say this, and I want you guys to hear me clearly. This social media, the web is not going anywhere. It is not going to die down. It is not a fad. It is not a phase. It is where everything is going now. Everything is moving into and content, videos, you know, like we talked about, even with graphics. You know, so many people are so heavy on graphics. You know, come off some of those graphics and build you some video content, build you some things where people can see you. They can hear your heart. They can hear your authenticity. They can hear the integrity behind you. What is your message? What are you saying? What do you have to share? So I think those are all like really, really good things. Now, I know a lot of people have shared this. Are you guys getting any questions? Let's open it up for questions before we jump off. If anybody has any questions you would like to ask, or something you've been thinking about, or something you want to get a little bit more insight on, because we just hit so many different things tonight. It was really good. But any questions?
I have comments, but not questions.
Let me see if I have any
questions.
And
while we're waiting for the questions, let me just add one more point. I was having a conversation with a pastor the other day, and I said, we're gonna have to face it, honey. Some people not coming back to the church. They found them another home online. But I said, there might be some backsliders in the area that come back, but some of your old members might not come back. And then another thing that some churches wasn't doing is they weren't staying connected to the people. They weren't checking in on the people. There was no conversation with they ain't talked to these people since March. So if I ain't talked to my pastor since March and I'm just a regular old member, why I'm gonna come back to you? You ain't had no communication with me. You ain't had no Facebook group. You ain't had no text alert, no email sent to me, no the phone lines, and none of that. So why am I gonna come back to you? You don't know what I'm doing.
Hold on. But some pastors have reached out. They reached out. They reached out. They want to know about them ties. Don't forget about the bills.
That's the only time.
Right. But you know what? That's a great point of in business, we call it customer retention.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about retaining your congregation, even businesses, even if you're not in the church world. Go back to your clients that were real good with you before this happened. Those ones that spent their dollars with you. If you start seeing them fall off, send them a thank you card. Hey, thank you you've been with me for a long time. Just want to check in on you. How you been doing? What's going on? How are things happen? You know, what's going on in your life? Sometimes that just brings people back to you. Yeah. Sometimes it could just be a conversation or a piece of connecting, just finding out that people feel like you care.
Right. That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
This man, I'm sorry. This man inboxed me and he told me that he was homeless and sleeping in the car with his child. And I said, well, what can you reach out to your church? He was like, I serve faithfully in my church, but I just can't go and ask my pastor. And I'm like, why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And this is another thing, God. Some people are coming to I Need a Word and Set Apart and Chosen like we're churches. Okay? These people they pastors. Some people ask me, can they tithe into the I Need a Word church? I know the pastors ain't gonna like that, but they ask. But I refer them back to their local church. But I'm just letting y'all know what the future looking like.
They do. Honestly, she's not lying. They do. And
but let me say this too. That means for pastors, start looking for database systems and how you can keep your congregation connected. If you are a church and you do not have a church database system, you need to get one. There's plenty of them. Check out church database software. That should be, you should know the addresses, you should know their anniversaries, you should be sending them bereavements, you should be sending them birthday greetings, know about your congregation. And a lot of times when you have larger than maybe 100, 200 people, you need a database system.
Yeah.
Plug that information in. You got you at home all day, you got church members at home all day, volunteers. Let them be intentional on sending out communication. I know even Joyce Meyer, I remember connecting with her some years ago, and I remember she would send me like a birthday greeting. Like she would send me a birthday, and it was just handwritten. One of her, one of the staff just hand wrote, "Happy birthday! We're so happy for your birthday." Blah 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 blah. You even see, was it Bed Bath and Beyond? I think they even do like birthday coupons. Hey, this 25% off. So if you're a business owner, pay attention to your people. Know what's going on with them. So go ahead, Valika.
No, I was about to say too, now is the perfect opportunity for pastors to change their message. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, people are really dealing with different stuff. And it's the time to be transparent. You know what I'm saying? Be transparent. Let them know what went on in your life. And one person I love to death, and that's your friend, Quanda, Danielle. Be transparent. You know what I'm saying? Like be transparent on what you have dealt with. Like I'm not perfect. So y'all might hear me tell y'all like the other day I accidentally cussed, but you know what I'm saying? We have to be transparent. You know what I'm saying? If we have some faults, just go ahead and admit the faults, not all the bad faults. But you know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it like you're not the only one going there. We all are human. We have been through this. I have been through this. I know where you are type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That thing can bless somebody just so much. But when we on a pedestal and act like we haven't even been through anything, people are looking at us like they're not touchable. Let me go somewhere else because they don't understand, or they're going to look down at me. I can't really let them know what's going on in my life because they're going to judge me. You know what I'm saying? So we have to think about changing up our message too. And that goes back to knowing what your audience is saying and knowing what your audience wants. You know what I'm saying?
People respond better to people they can relate to.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And two, curtail your business around the reality of what's going on. So if you selling a t-shirt, make it, you know what, we selling this t-shirt and this message is saying X, Y, and Z because this is what we're doing, or this is where we're going, or this is what we're promoting. So even your products, make them relatable to people.
Right.
Make sure it's meeting a need. Make sure it's hitting them where they can say, I can use this, I can take this, I can share this, I can whatever. Even with MP3s, a lot of people are looking at sermon series and audio messages, things of that nature. Make sure that it is something it's easy for people to get. Make sure it's easy for people to download. It's easy for them to search. Again, like I said, check out your sites. How easy is it for people to connect with you? Is it make sense? Look at all those things, because those could be just access points that are hindering people from really connecting long term with you.
Yeah, because when I was trying to get some content, I reached out to a bunch of pastors, and you believe some of them don't have a contact on their website.
Yeah.
And they don't have social media.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's no way to get in contact with them.
And
I
heard somebody say this, that your website is the new Yellow Pages.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs to be clear. It needs to be easy. People like easy. You got to click, because the next distraction is just a thing away. Right. So you got to have it. Everything got to be functioning. That's another thing. Sometimes we build these websites and then we don't go back and check and make sure the pages are still working.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm calling it out today.
You calling it out. But you know what? These are, but here's the thing. The reason why we need to hear this is because these are reasons why the customers ain't coming. This is why the ministry numbers are going down. This is why your business is not getting that retention. You're getting the one hits, but you're not getting that, constant business because of these things. You want to make sure that that's such a good point. I can't tell you how many times I've been on people's website. The same thing, stuff not working, links not working, video can't be found, page not be found. You know what? So then people are like, on to the next. I'm going to do the next. It's just like, and I hate to use this example, but it's so relatable to everybody. How many of us have been to McDonald's and they like the milkshake is broke? So guess what? You go to the next store. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. And it's just like that online. Your stuff ain't working. People going to the next place.
Yeah. Oh, because somebody said this to me, so I want to kind of get your feedback on it. They said like they're looking for pastors that's more touchable. This lady was telling me, she said she's go to church in, I think, Florida. She said the pastors used to be touchable, but now you got to go through security. To get security. So I want you to kind of talk about that. I mean, I know if you're in a large church and you got a big name and you can't get to everybody, you got to guard yourself. But there's some people that are looking for more intimate settings. What can you speak to that?
You know, it's so funny that you say that. I actually consulted with a church a couple years ago, and I said, you know what? There was a medium-sized church, and I said, let's take it all the way back. We actually had. Do you remember Baptist churches how they used to fix the go box plates after service and used to eat in the fellowship hall? I said,
He's been
let's
doing it.
recreate that. And when I tell you, it was such a hit with that church because what we were doing was recreating fellowship. People
Yeah.
want to know that if they go to a church that you care about me. Listen, pastors, you might have to go back to the front door and shake some hands. You know what I mean? Of course, we're not shaking hands now, but you
Right.
know, just go to the front door and wave, you know, and just say, hey, so and so, or I know this may be kind of challenging, but this is about study. You may have to get your church congregation, people that keep saying hey to you, take a picture with them and write their name down and be intentional about studying their name. And just take every week and just be intentional about remembering 5 people from your church. And you have
Yeah.
a big church, but just take time and say, you know what, I remember so and so, or hey, sister so and so. Because the worst thing that you can do too is be disingenuous as well
Yeah.
as a pastor. So they'll feel it if you're not genuine, you know, but take time and let people know that you're real. Let people know that you care about them. Because if people feel like they're just a number, then guess what? They can easily go to somebody else's church. And I need to say this, and this is kind of hardcore too. Listen, you may be able to preach good, but somebody can preach way better.
They don't want to hear that.
Reality. I mean, it's just the reality. You may be anointed, but guess what? Somebody's more anointed. Your choir may be great, but somebody else's choir is even better. What's going to keep people is when they feel like they matter. They have to know that you care about them, and it can't be a numbers-driven thing. You have to take time and make people feel welcome. And here's the thing: if you got a large church, then guess what you need to do? Everybody wants to be a minister, put them on the duty. Like, hey, you know what? These ministers that want to do something, hey, go greet the people. Go meet them out in the parking lot. Say hey at the parking lot. You know, and here's another thing, churches. Take some of your budget and give stuff away to your congregation without wanting anything in return. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We'll take, and the reason why I can say this is just being in the church world for so many years. We will take $20,000 and we'll do a concert. We'll take $30,000 and we'll pay a guest speaker. We'll pay them an honorarium. We'll do all these things, but we won't take $30,000 and buy donuts for our congregation.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, and I'm glad that we're out here supporting gospel artists and supporting these people. But listen, if you just take, even if you gave $5 gift cards and just had them out in the, or $2 gas card or something, and just left it and said, you know what, we're gonna just take time. And for those of you that are having issues or struggles, you know what, we got a $10 gas card. You know what I mean? And let people know that you care. Let them know that their money is really being used for a good purpose, noble purpose, and it's not on you. And let me say another thing too, pastors, while we out here, stop putting your business on social media. Take your cars offline, your shoes off, your clothes. You're going on trips and carrying on. Leave that for your family in the group text message, but don't put that on social media right now, because people are like, yo, I'm unemployed, I ain't got no money, and they're looking at your social media page and like, why you asking me for my tithes and you showing me Louis Vuittons and you showing me Pradas and a lot of women, let me tell you, come off all this fashion because people know how much that stuff costs. You got red bottoms on, and then you asking them to give an offering or a prophecy or something. We gotta be wise. The Bible talks about being humble as a dove, being wise as a serpent and humble as a dove. We gotta pay attention to what we're doing. Be relatable, but don't put all your business out there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's why they always associate stealing with the church, because we're so flashy.
Right.
And here's the thing: some pastors, believe it or not, do have legitimate businesses or do have money outside the church. But you know what you may do, and it's not hiding. I've heard so many ministers say, "Well, I don't want to hide the blessings of God." But you know what? You may need to park that Bentley in the back. It might not. It might not need to be in the front. You know what I mean? Park that joke in the back, or ride the Honda this Sunday. You got to think about your audience and who you're reaching, because you don't ever want people to assume or make an assumption that you are profiting off of their misfortune or people, because some people really, they are believing God. Let me tell you, there are some people that are sowing their last $5, they last $2, believing for a miracle, believing God to make a breakthrough in their life. And we want to be wise stewards of what God gives us. And another thing too, we got to pay attention to how we spending money. Is it making sense? Right. So I think all of those things are key. Listen, I ain't seen no questions. Y'all seen any questions?
No, but can I add one more thing and then I'm gonna go? Okay, I want to add this because I know that we in a rush to go back to church, but I want to let y'all know that conferences, as usual, is done. All them having 300 and 400 people coming in. No. That season is done. Because we're living in a generation now where we want results. I'm tired of going to conferences and I go back home with the same devils and the same demons. I need results. At these business conferences and at these worldly conferences, they're giving these people strategy and results. That's why people will pay thousands of dollars to go to a business conference, because they know when they come home, they got a strategy. When I go to a church conference, what's the strategy? Because y'all don't be promoting Jesus. Some of y'all not even asking, are you saved anymore?
No.
Listen.
So church as usual is done. I mean, y'all excited to get back in the building, but it's done. You're going to have to change some things, okay? Yeah. We're living in a different time, a different generation. Some people ain't coming back because they're afraid of the germs. Some people ain't coming back because you ain't called them, you ain't reached out. Some people ain't calling back because that's too far of a drive. Now, I'm not driving 25 miles to church. I could just get it online. You're going to have that. You're going to have that. That's a reality. That's a reality you're going to have to face. Some people, they're not ready to be back in the crowd. Because some of y'all having churches, y'all not having no masks. Y'all don't got no sanitizing stations. Y'all not cleaning your mics. we can't be how we was. It has to change. It has to change.
But you think you want to have a conference with 5,000 people? You know what I think is going to happen, Kwanda? I really believe that this is going to stir up such a revival in the body of Christ. Because you know what? The people, they're not coming for no jokes. If I come back to the building, I'm coming back for God. I'm coming back for true deliverance. I'm coming back for the things of the spirit. I'm coming to, here's another one, Kwanda. I'm coming to learn. We got to start teaching again. We can't have ignorant people in our congregations where you asking people, they don't know no scriptures. They don't know nothing about the Bible. They don't know anything about eschatology, Jesus on his way back. We just had peace treaties signed overseas. Nobody ain't even paying attention. They don't even know this has been spoken in prophecy. They don't even know that Jesus is on his way back. The nations are literally lining up. This is real. We're in a real hour. And we as a church, we have to get focused and pay attention to what is really happening.
Exactly. Just one more point. Okay, so I was having
this ain't a night.
So, two more points. The first one is online when they showing do you want to receive salvation, and you type yes or whatever. However, what are y'all doing with those people once they say they want to be a virtual member at your church? Where are you going? And I was having a conversation with Dr. Medina Pullins, and I said, you know what? Church has to get back to the basics. People don't even know how to read the Bible. People don't know how to pray. I said, we got to get back to the basics of the Bible. She was like, you're right. I'm like, yeah. We want to do all this fancy stuff, and people don't know how to where to read in the Bible. Yeah. We want to do all this spinning and spitting on people, and they don't even know how to pray.
Yep. I was telling somebody one night, I was saying something about having a relationship with God, and they sent me a message in my inbox, and they was like, can you teach me how to have a relationship with God?
I get that all the time.
Teach me how to have a relationship with God. And that's the thing that churches are overlooking. We're thinking that they should know this, or they should be here, or they should be there. But honestly, it's the things like that. Simple as that. And they do not have a clue at all.
And you know what? We have to remember as ministers, it doesn't matter how long you've been in ministry. there is always new people getting saved. There's always new people coming into the kingdom. So you might have been in the kingdom a long time, and maybe you started off with people, but you have to keep reteaching those principles, because there's always somebody new coming in. There's always new babes coming into the kingdom, and we can't put that label that they know or that they're coming in with knowledge. You may have to go and teach and break down and explain. And here's another thing: use the people that you have, whether it's in the church or in the secular market. People that's on your team, use them. Don't be afraid. That here's the thing. Job said this: the thing that I greatly feared has come upon me. What he feared, it came to pass. What he was fearful of is that his kids was going to sin against God, and so he was making sacrifice. As pastors, if you're fearful that somebody gonna take your church, it's already gone.
Exactly.
If you're a business owner and you scared somebody gonna take your idea, it's already gone. You cannot operate in fear, because what you do is, if you don't allow the people that God has assigned to either help you in your business, your nonprofit, your church, your organization, then what happens is it will cap at your level.
Yeah.
Right. That storm hitting them. It's okay. Yeah. No, we definitely can't walk into fear. Especially with dealing with the church. If you're thinking as a pastor that somebody's going to take your member, then that's a problem itself. Like, what are you doing to keep your members there? Like, really, you shouldn't have to worry about, if you have been faithful to the members, if you have been feeding and nourishing the members the way they are, you don't have to be threatened about them going somewhere else. You know, they're going to be faithful and loyal to you.
Right. And then it's like, too, you can't hold on to everybody. If they gonna go, you got to let them go. Because especially if the Lord pulling them somewhere. Some people, I know they church hop, but I'm saying, listen, we can't get caught up in who's gone.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna look back too long.
Exactly.
That pillar of salt is real.
Right. Absolutely. Movement.
Right.
Yep. And so that's even for business owners. Look for your next client. You know, even if you keep going, keep going, keep looking for the next people that will appreciate your product. So y'all, we gone an hour and 6 minutes. Listen, y'all tore this thing down. This was better than I expected. I know we were gonna talk about some good stuff, but I didn't know it's gonna be this good. So I appreciate you guys. If you guys don't have any questions, I don't have any questions. Let's do this again. Helping people along in this journey. And next time we'll make sure that we send something out for people to ask, more questions or anything we can do to help from our industry and various years of experience to kind of help them get along. Y'all got any last thoughts or any last comments before we jump off?
You just got to shift with the shift. Period.
Change the way you think. Change your mentality.
Yeah. All right, guys, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time. Watch this and we'll do it again.